I'm going to be reading today from my third collection of poems, Pit Lullabies, which is a collection that attempts to explore early motherhood, the process of birthing, and also the more uncanny elements of all of that. It also tries to explore the existential fears that become very real once you become very engaged with the future of the next generation. And I'm going to start with a poem called Anatomy Scan. Let's begin with a shroud, darkened by time, pushed aside to show your bones filigree. The ultrasound probes and digs as you slither in and out of focus, sockets gaping like a Halloween ghost through a sheet. The hole of your stomach, the chomp of your heartbeat hungering below my gut. Perfect cerebellum, a very nice spine. There, the kidneys, little dark pockets of need. Colour flares across the screen, arterial flow through widening chambers, its rush exhausting. The eyeballs orbit, closed but watchful. Your twig arms flinch and flick, your tiny jaws grin. Little lizard, you know something I've forgotten. In the birthing room. The choir sings pitchy and off-key, but still my hands grasp, flutter, try to shape these unruly phrases till the drag of morphine collapses them. I can't read the singers' faces behind their masks, and the lighting is bad, pale green gowns, glinting implements, very postmodern, post-dramatic. But they won't stand still. One soloist bends over me, very quiet, very serious, and the music must be good because I feel something tug in me, a root that shouldn't be disturbed. Don't cry, you're the conductor. Then for some reason I'm given a prize, but it's a baby, her eyes black. We look at each other. There must be some mistake before she's taken away. It's quiet when the cleanup team arrives. There is so much blood. I'm sorry, but do you know if I've been cut? Of course you have, they say. The next poem I'm going to read is the first poem that I wrote when I came to write this book. And it was written in the immediate aftermath of the birth of my eldest daughter. In those strange, wonderful weeks when you are left alone to get to know your baby. And I spent a lot of time in those early weeks thinking about the moment of her birth, which was a very difficult birth. And when she was handed to me, I of course felt that rush of emotions and love, but there was a strange emotion in the midst of it, and that emotion was pity. She looked like an animal that had been taken from a safe environment and put somewhere where she didn't belong at all. So this poem is called, If You Can Tame a Wild Cat, You Can Raise a Baby. Lesson 1. You have no shared contexts. Forget sentimentality. The child recognizes you as a fox on a winter's night hears the owl shriek above it. Lesson 2. Now you have accepted you have no shared context. We should admit 1, the seeking of pattern. Repeat, repeat, repeat until threat becomes comfort. Lesson 3, like any animal, this child has the capacity for love. Like any human, you know you deserve only contempt. Lesson 4, the smile is learned. All mirrors are Antarctic wastes, but your breath is warm. Write your message on the glass. Lesson 5, you are both feral, scavengers haunting a night of cutthroat stars. Touch your nose to the frozen earth. Breathe, breathe each other's scent. The next poem I'm going to read is called Lessons. And it's an exploration of how moments like birth, these transitional moments in life, can serve as a real reminder of our own mortality And when I had my first daughter, alongside all of the happiness of the occasion was this slight sense of dread that I had managed to kink everybody on our family chain a little bit closer to death. So my mother had become a grandmother. I had gone from being child to mother. And it reminded me of the very first time when I was a child that I experienced the reality of my own mortality. And that happened on the 15 bus in Dublin. Lessons. Your birth left me drenched in night sweats, grew the knowledge in me that death was polishing coins for us all those long pre-anesthetic ages, ready to take us both, your shoulders shut in the door jamb of my pelvis. What strange skeletons we would have made. And for a moment I was the future ghost of all those pale small girls you picture in the background in great novels where great men are saying great things. I was a great pale tide of little Marys. I tell a lie. I first met death at 7 on the stairs of the 15 bus. He had no body, but he lived behind my eyes, swung space sideways till I could see 1,000 crashes spiral out and all the cold dead faces. And on the hourglass's wasp-cinched waist, there's you, as much your father as you are me, and twice again yourself, double helix spiraling as the world turns and turns, phosphorus spark in the great dark laboratory. And after you, I still see death on my left shoulder, ready to flip this egg-timer world, but now I save a space for you inside me. I wear the skin a little looser on my bones. I'm going to read now from the sequence of Pit Lullabies that are scattered throughout the collection. And these were all written at a time and from a place where I was at a distance from my daughter, whether through work or travel, having to spend time away. And I think we internalise a lot of the guilt as mothers and as parents of being away from children. And I found myself writing a lot while travelling by night in places of darkness and from a place of postnatal depression, and also from a place where my daughter really wouldn't sleep for the first 2 years of her life, which I think is a very common shared experience. So all of these Pit Lullabies are an attempt to write back to my daughter from a time of distance and difficulty. And I'll read 2 of them and then finish with a lullaby. So no longer in the pit. Pit Lullaby 5. Here are some things I need you to know. This darkness is an absence of light and not inklings of soot that fall from space, redacting the sky's pale grey. It's not a cloud of ink announcing the movement deep below of a squid who reaches to grasp the moon's far bead, or a knuckle of gall built around us by wasps. It's not a fog released by miners who tunneled here for potash, or the surface of a lake beneath the sea where even fish drown. It's the pinprick in your pupil that lets the world in, the mark I make on paper to name you, the space between you and those you love. This next Pit Lullaby has a quote from one of my favourite children's books authors, Judith Kerr. And I loved the Mog books when I was growing up. A lot of people remember The Tiger Who Came to Tea, but Judith Kerr has a wonderful range of children's books. And the reason that I connected with the Mog books as a child and that I reconnected with them while reading them to my daughter is because, like all of the best children's literature, they have within them the seeds of existential crisis. So there's a little quote from Mog embedded in this Pit Lullaby 7. When we turn off the light and I hold you close, your face becomes a puzzle, a wisp of hair settling on a cheek, an eyebrow like a capstone sinking in a restless sea. Here I whisper to you broken thoughts that settle on the tangle of our limbs. Mog sat in the dark and thought dark thoughts, I say, because it's the only thing in any of your books I recognize as true, a beast alone, out of doors and far from home. I lie in the dark and think dark thoughts while your feet push my thighs away. I make a weapon of the weight of my bones. There are so many hours between us and the morning. Lullaby. I have a lullaby for you at last. So lie beside me, hold my hand, follow me through the night's amber lens to Bull Island. Here the seals are waking from their sleep, rolling into the surf where in blue-black they'll stretch the land ache from their muscles. Here the only touch is water, moonlight on scale, dazzle of bubbles, blubber's cape, and fish blood's meagre warmth. These are my notes, the strand, our stave. Our music rises and falls. We are waveform, we are sea.